Imagine cutting your scheduling labor waste by 18% simply by switching from spreadsheets to smart algorithms. That is not sci-fi. It happens right now in hospitals across the globe, where 7 out of 10 facilities already rely on predictive AI to staff their teams. The math is undeniable. Organizations leveraging these tools see up to 25% gains in workforce productivity while slashing overtime that used to bleed budgets dry. But here is what really changes when you stop wrestling with static grids and start using dynamic models that adjust schedules instantly based on real time shifts, injuries, or sudden demand spikes. You are no longer guessing who can work next week. The system calculates fair rosters in minutes instead of hours spent manually correcting conflicts late at night. Imagine still juggling spreadsheets while your team burns out from unfair shifts. This is the spreadsheet trap, and it costs managers 3 to 10 hours every single week just building schedules. You are not organizing time, you are wasting lives on manual entry. Look at the numbers. Typical reports show that 30% of a manager's week vanishes trying to balance rosters across multi site teams. That is lost potential, while your competitors automate this away with AI driven workforce management tools. Manual methods create dangerous inefficiencies, often leading to overstaffing during slow shifts or critical understaffing when you need it most. You are paying for labor waste that could have been eliminated by predictive models adjusting on the fly using real time data. The cost is not just money, it is burnout and high turnover rates because fairness feels impossible without a system designed to handle human complexity. We cannot afford to let outdated processes dictate our operational limits anymore. It is time to stop guessing and start optimizing with tools that actually understand your business needs. The numbers tell a harsh story of invisible bleeding happening every single day. When forecasts miss, your team is either sitting idle or burning out from overtime you never planned for. In service industries specifically, poor demand prediction isn't just an inconvenience, it destroys margins before the month even closes. Research shows that companies relying on traditional guessing games waste between 18 and 22% of their labor directly tied to scheduling errors. That is not a typo. It means thousands in payroll vanished into thin air because you could not accurately predict who would show up or how many customers walk through the door. This inefficiency hits restaurants, clinics, and retail stores hardest, where profit margins are already razor thin. You might feel like every dollar spent on wages is essential, but without accurate data, that money leaks out faster than your cash flow can replenish it. The cost of being wrong compounds weekly until you either slash pay or cut corners to survive the deficit. This financial drain forces founders into a reactive cycle where they constantly play catch up instead of investing in growth. Static rules were never enough. The real power lies in what happens when things go wrong mid shift. Traditional systems just predict tomorrow's needs, but AI actively adjusts today based on live data streams. Imagine a surge in demand during lunch rush or an unexpected call out at 2 p.m. An intelligent system detects these fluctuations instantly and rebalances the roster before inefficiencies even form. It eliminates overstaffing that burns cash and understaffing that frustrates patients, all by responding to reality as it unfolds. This isn't magic, it is automation reacting faster than a human manager ever could while juggling multiple spreadsheets. By shifting from rigid forecasts to dynamic adjustment, the technology handles volatility automatically without needing constant manual intervention. You stop guessing who needs coverage and start trusting data that updates in real time. 70% of hospitals are already running on it, proving predictive AI is no longer just theory but standard practice in 2024. This isn't about hype, it's about predictable accuracy and slashing schedule variance so you stop guessing who shows up when the shift starts. Scheduling facilitation has become the fastest growing use case for this technology because it solves a problem that spreadsheets simply cannot touch on their own. Think of shifting from rigid, error prone manual planning to systems that adjust schedules on the fly using real time data to eliminate over and understaffing inefficiencies instantly. The result is fairer rosters built faster with significantly less administrative waste compared to traditional methods. When you remove the friction of constant adjustments, managers reclaim hours every week previously lost to building and revising complex grids across multi-site teams. This reliability transforms how entire organizations manage their workforce productivity while cutting operational costs substantially for everyone involved. Skepticism is natural, especially when you fear losing control of your team's schedule. But here is the truth. AI succeeds only when managers keep direct command and define clear initial rules for the model upfront. The quality of automation depends heavily on how completely these guidelines are set before a single shift is generated. You do not hand over authority to an algorithm, you empower it with transparency so everyone understands exactly how decisions are made. This system must remain locally adaptable, reflecting your specific culture and urgent needs without rigid constraints. Even in complex independent or hybrid groups where structures vary wildly, success happens when the tool stays under direct management control rather than acting autonomously. Nurses themselves expect that fully accommodating every single preference will likely be impossible. Some discrepancies are inevitable. The real value lies not in perfect predictions for every individual request, but in drastically reducing the hours managers spend manually juggling spreadsheets to resolve conflicts. By accepting that technical limitations exist and defining your boundaries clearly, you unlock efficiency without sacrificing fairness or oversight. This balance sets us up perfectly to discuss how these systems adjust instantly when reality changes around them. Let's ground expectations before we launch into perfectionism. Your AI scheduler cannot read minds, and it won't magically accommodate every single preference you or your team lists in its settings. Yes, discrepancies will persist because human desires are messy by design. But here is the critical difference. Manual spreadsheets leave gaps that feel like failures, while intelligent systems actively minimize them using real-time data to adjust on the fly. This technology eliminates inefficiencies caused by or understaffing precisely where you need flexibility most. Studies confirm that nurses anticipate some mismatches remain likely, yet they still view these AI-driven tools as superior for fairness and work-life balance overall. The system learns your specific constraints while maintaining local adaptability under direct manager control. It does not replace human judgment, but rather amplifies it by handling the math so you can focus on conflict resolution. Don't expect a perfect match every time, but do expect significantly fewer headaches than trying to juggle conflicting requests in Excel alone. We will now look at how this automation directly impacts your bottom line and operational costs in the next segment. Imagine your operational costs taking a massive hit immediately after implementation. This is not theoretical, it happens in real business scenarios today. A 2023 McKinsey report confirms what forward-thinking companies are seeing firsthand. AI-driven workforce management can slash operational expenses by 8 to 12% right out of the gate. Think about that as immediate cash flow returning to your bottom line within months, not years for small businesses, and significant savings scaling up for large enterprises. Beyond just saving money on labor waste, you unlock massive efficiency gains. Firms utilizing these tools report productivity improvements reaching 25% while simultaneously cutting down unnecessary overtime hours. This dual effect means every dollar spent generates more value than before because your team is perfectly aligned with demand without the burnout of overstaffing or the stress of understaffing. You stop throwing good money after bad on schedule related inefficiencies and start reinvesting those savings into growth initiatives that actually move the needle for your business. The math simply works in your favor when you automate the heavy lifting of roster creation, giving you a competitive edge before your rivals even realize how much they could be losing to manual scheduling errors every single week. The Ironwolf stack gives you back total command of your data infrastructure by letting you self-host your own AI agents right on local hardware. This means your sensitive schedules and workforce rules never leave your secure environment, ensuring absolute privacy while giving managers direct control over their tools. Unlike public clouds that demand strict adherence to rigid global policies or risk technical failures when internet access drops, a locally adaptable system adjusts on the fly using real-time data available within your own network. You define every initial rule explicitly, which guarantees clarity and exhaustiveness for the model, so it builds fair schedules faster without hallucinating incorrect shifts. This approach cuts scheduling related labor waste significantly by eliminating dependencies on external providers who might change their algorithms overnight or incur hidden costs. When technical failures occur in a shared environment, you are not held hostage. Your local stack keeps running independently under your direct oversight. It is the ultimate lifeline for teams operating on slim margins where operational efficiency must be maintained at all times. This section wraps up our deep dive into autonomous workforce planning strategies that put power back in human hands. Stop juggling endless spreadsheets and start trusting your AI partner to handle the heavy lifting. You just saw how predictive models forecast demand, slash labor waste by 20%, and give nurses back their time for a better life. The payoff is clear: faster schedules, lower costs, and happier teams working in harmony without the chaos of manual errors. Ready to build this future? Hit subscribe now to follow our entire series on architecting intelligent workflows that scale with your ambition. This journey from raw data to automated efficiency changes everything we thought was possible for workforce management.